Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel, finally. I am Nelly, and today you join me with the video about the Steinhart Ocean GMT Premium that I teased to you 2 or 3 months ago. So some of you might have seen the video that I posted when I went to buy this watch in Germany, in the only physical store selling Steinhart watches in Europe. Now, this watch is a very special watch, let me tell you that, because it is at a price point where you don't get that many Swiss-made watches at such a high-end quality, and I mean it. So first of all, I will talk to you about why I bought this watch, what it replaced, and how it made sense in my head to buy this watch and not another Steinhart watch or another Swiss-made watch at this price point. And then I will talk to you about the experience with the watch that I had over these past 2 or 3 months, over the summer basically. I went to Italy with it as well and had some beautiful experiences with it. And then I will talk to you about the Steinhart brand in and of itself and where it might be heading. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Let's roll the intro and start. So why have I bought this watch? I bought it to replace another Steinhart that I had and went on to sell. So my very first Steinhart I bought actually in 2019, so last year in summer, because I loved the GMT. I loved the design of the Pepsi Gmt, so the blue and red, and the Jubilee bracelet was awesome as well. However, that was the 42 millimeters, and as you can see, I don't have the biggest of wrists, and it looked a bit ridiculous, to be honest. So I enjoyed the watch, don't get me wrong, but since Steinhart has quite flat lugs, 42 millimeters was a bit too much. Nevertheless, I had the watch for over a year and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed wearing it. But then Steinhart brought out these new watches. So they brought out a new GMT Pepsi, however this time not with an aluminium bezel but with a ceramic bezel. And that was the point where I was like, I have to buy this watch. The ceramic bezel is just completely different. Some of you might say, oh, it's still blue and red, and it's the same colors. But the way the blue and red pops on the ceramic bezel is completely different as opposed to the aluminium bezel. And so basically I decided then to buy the ceramic version of that same watch, the blue and red, so not this one. But I didn't because in my head I was like, what am I doing? Why am I selling the 42 millimeters just to buy the 39 ceramic and buying again the exact same watch? So I was like, that might be a bit boring. And so in my head, it only made sense to buy the Batman, so the blue and black. Not only because it's a different color, but also because it's a much more individual watch. It is still a homage to the Rolex GMT Master 2, the black and blue, but it has much more of its own character due to the hands and the way the dial is formed. We have a date function at the 6 o'clock, we don't have it at the 3 o'clock. So, and these are little details that make this watch stand out more than the blue and red one. And I'll show you pictures of it close up in the video, so don't worry about that. But furthermore, I particularly enjoy how this watch has an open case back It has a water resistance of 500 meters. That's crazy. Not even the Rolex GMT has a water resistance that impressive. So these are all kind of points that made me decide to go for this one rather than the other Steinhart. So again, don't get me wrong, the other Steinhart is amazing. It's a great watch. This also has a little bit of a different price point. It's a bit more expensive than the other one, but you get so much more watch for the money. You get an open case back. You have a decorated golden ETA movement. I mean the rotor of the movement. You have 500 meters water resistance. You have an outstanding lume, which is not only on the dial, on the markers, but also on the bezel, which looks absolutely crazy at night. I love it. And then this really well finished oyster type bracelet. So now we will come to talk about my experience with the watch so far, and I have to say it's just beyond crazy how perfect this watch is. This is probably the best watch I own, especially considering the price. It just does everything perfectly. Apart from timekeeping, it is an extremely versatile watch, and that's what I wanted to touch on. So this summer I went to Italy to visit my family, and I didn't want to bring too many watches with me, so I decided to bring this one and another Seiko. And then I went to an island, some of you might know, Capri in Italy, a very small, beautiful island with which is quite an expensive island actually. And I was like, what watch could I bring that does everything? So I didn't want to bring more than one watch to Capri. What watch could I bring that I could go swimming with, that I could wear to a fancy dinner, that I could just wear casually? And it was the Steinhart. It was the Steinhart, and it did it perfectly. It did it absolutely perfectly. I went cliff diving with it. No problem, 500 meters water resistance. I went on a boat tour with it. Again, I went snorkeling. It looks stunning underwater, by the way. Then I had it. I wore it casually, just strolling through Capri, and I did wear it as well for dinner, and it just suited the atmosphere perfectly. Because in a way it does stand out, the blue and the black. It has quite a shiny bezel, it being ceramic. When the light reflects off the bezel, it's quite a shiny watch, but at the same time it's steel, it's not gold, and the only colors that you really have is, the only color that you have is blue, so it's in between, like a very elegant look and a casual look, and that's what makes this watch so perfect in my opinion. If you would have the red and blue combination, it would be a completely different story, because it is much more of a in-your-face color combination. It's still great, but I would say it's much flashier than this. And this being in between this kind of elegant look and versatile look just makes it an absolutely great watch. So yeah, that has been my experience so far. That was my experience in Capri, but apart from that, this watch has been perfect in every other way as well. I'm wearing this every single day, and I don't feel like I have to really pay attention to not scratch it. It's a rugged watch, it's a diver watch. It is stainless steel, it's brushed steel, so I don't really care if it gets a little bit scratched up. It has a sapphire crystal anyway, so that doesn't scratch. It doesn't have any scratches anywhere. Just a clasp a little bit, but that's not too bad. So yeah, this watch is just surprisingly well finished. Not surprisingly, because we know that Steinhart makes great watches. But again, for this price, if you compare this watch to a Rolex, which is 10 times the price, it's incredible. It's incredible value for money. And now I also want to talk about the Steinhart brand in and of itself, because some people, I know that homage watches are quite a difficult topic. It's a very complicated topic. Some people say that homage watches are a rip-off. Other people say that they love them. And I want to say that Steinhart makes exceptionally well finished homage watches. And they don't just rip off a design. But it also depends on which model you get. So this model, for example, has quite its individual features. Other watches from Steinhart are a bit less individual or are a bit less creative from their side. If we look at the Pepsi GMT from Steinhart, it is much more like the Rolex GMT. But this one is one of the only models that has really its own individuality and makes it stand out from the lineup, which again made more sense in my head, and which is the reason why I ended up buying this and not the blue and red. So it is interesting to see now where Steinhart is heading, because I can't really tell either. They are making great homage watches, and I love what they did with the Batman here, because they made their own kind of, they brought their own design language to this watch, but they are not doing it with other models. So I don't know if they are going to make more individual models, because they have also their own design watches, which are great. They are quite special watches, I have to say. It might not be to everyone's likings, but that doesn't matter. I like to see what Steinhart will be doing in the future, and just seeing what they did in the last 1 or 2 years is very interesting. So I'm looking forward to see what they will be doing in the future. But that's pretty much everything I wanted to say in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below. Please leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, as it will help us a lot. And see you in the next one. Ciao.